All right, man. Let's talk about Francis Ngannou, so I'm best pronouncing his name. Defeating Ciryl Gane yesterday, man. It was a surprise. I caught the main event. I didn't really see the undercard. Um, but at UFC 270, and Francis showed people that he can wrestle. All right, and um, that was the monkey wrench in there. Now, one thing about the fight, other than that, it was lost. I think in the fourth round it was lost. Might have been the fifth. I was tired last night. I think it might have been the fifth. I can't really remember. I think it was the fifth. Pardon me. Now, Ciryl Gane, who got the first two rounds, all he had to do is win one of the back three. But Francis really, they were saying Francis was tired at one point. It was around the fourth round. They were saying he was tired. But I really thought Ciryl Gane was really the guy that was tired, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I thought because he was tired, man. He wasn't doing like some of the things you've seen in previous fights or in the highlights, or you've seen him doing early on, where he doing those little, that little flashy look, little wheelhouse kicks and whatever you call them, the little backhand elbow. He's a real smooth type of fighter. You know what I'm saying? He's a fighter that I would put him on like the Roy Jones list as far as flash, and that's his effectiveness. And saying he had never been taken down before now. And Francis is at a boxing background, and most people thought if he couldn't land that punch, he wasn't gonna win. But he came in, he took down in between 3 and 5, he took down Ciryl Gane like 3 or 4 times. And even the time that Ciryl Gane took him down, I believe that was the fifth. Ngannou, he tried to put him in an ankle lock. People thought it was over. He just really, Ngannou really was mixing in multiple martial arts yesterday. Obviously, his boxing is always um, deadly, but he mixed in wrestling. He mixed in a few other things. And when you're on that ground game, Ciryl Gane, he made it tough on him on the ground. But Francis, like Usman said after the fight, he said it's the evolution. Who says heavyweights can't grapple? And at 35, we know in combat sports, heavyweights age more graceful than any other weight class because why? They don't have to make the weight. All right, they don't have to make weight. It's no super heavyweight. It's heavyweight and everything else. They don't have to make the weight. Now, guys that naturally can make the weight, yeah, they can last longest too. But this dude wrestling won this fight, bro. And if you think about it, you're like, bruh, why he didn't bring this out earlier? And one of the reasons why, you know, um, what question that really troubled people was his ex-coach was in Ciryl Gane's corner. And Ciryl Gane was really prepared for Ngannou's striking ability, but that third round, Ngannou had in his mind, and he shocked everybody. I mean, um, DC was shocked, took him to the ground, and from rounds 3 to 5, he dominated. I mean, he dominated. I'm gonna talk about that fifth round when he had him in the leg lock. Give me a minute. But he dominated, and then he didn't take the bait. Sometimes when you do mixed martial arts, you got to separate your mixed martial arts sometimes, or you got to separate that primal, attitude to kind of revert back to what you was, and he did that because a couple times he mounted him, and he just stayed the course. His discipline, his wrestling discipline, and his ground game stayed the course because he could have just did a sloppy mount and start welling on Ciryl Gane, and Ciryl Gane would have got up. He started striking. Ciryl Gane would have got up, reset, probably stole the round, and it would have been over with. It'd have been over with. You know, that back end he had to be on point. And a lot of times he just maintained his dominance so he could win the round. That's a big thing. Most knockout punchers, they want to knock you out. All right. He could have easily mounted Ciryl Gane in the third, fourth, and pow, pow, pow. But he stayed the course. He was disciplined. His corner was good. Shout out to Dewey Cooper and the other guy who was in there. His corner was good. He mounted him and he played the ground game. He looked good. He got the cool points and the fight points, and he dominated. And in the process, him not striking, wildly and trying to knock Ciryl Gane out. And obviously, if he would have mounted and started striking him and got full leverage from when the mount, he could have knocked out Ciryl Gane, but he also could allow Ciryl Gane to get up and take the play and possibly make it a debatable round or steal the round, and that's it. You got to knock him out. So his discipline on the ground, to be committed to the ground, allowed him to put pressure on Ciryl Gane, which allowed him to have a brain freeze. And I think it was the 5th round. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. Now, in the 5th round, Ciryl Gane did the dumbest thing ever. He actually took Francis to the ground, which to me it was 50-50 because Francis was able to kind of get in the position, you know what I'm saying? But he had to play, you know what I'm saying? You know Francis was that strong. People say he was tired. They were saying he was tired. The commentators, I didn't think he was tired of Ciryl Gane, but he took him to the ground. But then he put him in he had him in an ankle lock, but he went for like another ankle lock, whatever it was. He went for an ankle lock, and that was it. He had, the difference was Ngannou was disciplined on the ground. Ciryl Gane wasn't. He went for like an ankle lock or leg lock, whatever it was, and it allowed Ngannou or Francis Ngannou, excuse me, to take the play away and dominate, get back on top, dominate, and take the round away. That was it. When Gane, went for that leg, it was an ankle lock because he had him in the ankle lock. Like it was gonna be over, but Francis Gane game, he's really working on it. So he was able to kind of roll with the ankle lock. He was able to roll with it, and Ciryl Gane went for like one of them, and he lost his position. He lost the play, and then Ngannou was able to get up, take the play away from him, and win the round. I don't think it was, even though it seemed close, I don't think it was close because Ciryl Gane made it not close. Ciryl Gane went for something that he didn't have to go for. He was 4 out of 5 for takedowns in Francis, and the one takedown that Ciryl Gane won, which, like I said before, it wasn't a dominant takedown like the 4 out of 5 Ngannou went for. It wasn't a dominant takedown, but he started to dominate and take down, and then he went for unnecessary submission, the leg or ankle lock, and Ngannou was it was a wrap. Once he went for that ankle lock, he didn't have to go for the leg lock. Francis took the play away from him. Francis was on point in everything from ground to wrestling the ground. He was on point. This dude lost the fight. He lost the fight, and he'll be back. You know what I'm saying? They fought again. Who knows? He'll be back, but he lost the fight. He took food out of his family mouth when he took a risk. But that's what combat sports is about. And that's what life is about, taking risks. That's what it's about. It's about taking risks. That's what it's about. It's about taking risks. And he took a risk to try to tap him out. And maybe he thought that he had lost the 3. Maybe he thought that maybe he lost one of the first 2 somehow. Maybe he thought he was down on the scorecard, or he wasn't gonna get a fair shake, even though Francis was the one on his last fight. Even though championship rules say he got to be on a fight-by-fight contract till they get a deal done, until I guess he loses the title. But he went for the submission, and ultimately he lost it. I think part of it was fatigue, and then I think most of it was fatigue, and I think part of it was maybe he thought he was down. Maybe he didn't think he had the stamina to stand up and Francis might catch him. But Francis, he did everything right last night, from wrestling to the ground game. And Ciryl Gane made one mistake. He made one mistake, and he made one mistake, and I think it was a stamina, maybe not being maybe not being used to the big moment. It's a lot of things that go into there. So Derek Cleary, as you got on zoom. All right, Derek Cleary Gave, make sure I can see. Yeah, he gave the first 2 rounds to Gane, and the last 3 to Francis. Now, one of them, one that was deciding. I think it was the 5th round. That was the deciding when he missed that ankle lock or that leg lock, whatever it was. When he slipped out that ankle lock, whatever it was, that decided to fight. And one mistake in combat sports can cost you. It's just not a. It's just not. It's just not a mental lapse that can cost you, and you just get caught and get knocked out. That experience will always be with him. I think he'll be in better condition next time, and I also think that's gonna make Gane a better fighter. It's gonna be dangerous. And then you look, one card had Ngannou getting the first round. Sal D'Amato. He had Ngannou getting the first round. Then he had Ngannou sweeping the last 3. There you go. He had no chance in that card to win, coming down to the 5th guy. Then, most people scored it. They gave the first 2 to Gane, and then, so yeah, it would have mattered. He would have got a split decision, but it would have mattered, bro. The media scores was pretty much the same as it was the same as Sal D'Amato. So everybody in the media had Ngannou winning. So Sam D'Amato card, except for Scott Fonta in the New York Post, he had the card that I thought it was on the outside, but most of them had Ngannou winning by 3 points. So yeah, I mean, it would have been a rematch, and I think should they do it again, all right, it wasn't the most appealing fight, because a lot of people expectations was that this fight was somebody was gonna get knocked out quick. It went to decision. Or if you bet the decision was at least over around a plus 1,000 on some sports books, and you could have just bet the decision, probably got that. But like like Usman said, it's the evolution. He said, who he said who said heavyweights can't grapple? It's the evolution, and if he get that down pat, continue to work on, jiu-jitsu and all that other stuff, he is going to be unbeatable. He wants to get in the boxing ring too. He has a boxing background. But last night, they were saying that he probably went up to 275 or something like that, 270. I wouldn't be surprised, but him right there, if he start doing that takedown and wrestling and able to get out of those submissions and stuff, and his conditioning what it was last night, because he was conditioned. I don't care what nobody said. He was conditioned. The game was tired. He was conditioned. Not saying he wasn't, but he was conditioned. That man, that size, them hands, his Dewey Cooper gonna get his defense together. That ground game and he's continue to still learn. He's going to be hard to beat. And if he beats you and he continues to get better, he's gonna come back. If you beat him, he's gonna come back and beat you. So, he might go down, as one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time, easily one of the greatest heavyweights if he keeps trending in this direction. Now, he also said at the end of the fight that he blew his MCL out and hurt his ACL. So he says he's tore. Shout out to DJ Penn. He said he reveals that he completely tore his MCL 3 weeks prior to UFC 270, and he also says that he hurt his ACL. So that's why he had the knee braces on last night. So that could have did something because even how as big as he is, most fighters generate power from the ground up. So if you don't have your needs for that performance look way more, even if he lost. And I was looking because they got to prove usually the fighter, the opposite fighter, and the commission have to prove you wear knee braces, or you get a pain injection. And I guess they allowed him to wear the knee brace out there last night. But for him doing that on a torn out MCL and an injured ACL, more impressive. And he didn't make no excuses before the fight. Had he lost, people would have seen it as an excuse, but I don't think Ciryl Gane really would have felt like a champ. Well, it really felt like a legitimate champion, and you would have definitely got a rematch. But shout out to Ngannou for fighting through that, but that's tough. I'm not sure if they let him get ejections, but they get ejections. Usually in boxing, you have to get the approval from both sides, from the other side too. So not sure. But as far as a rematch, I don't think Dana White will be in a rush to do a rematch because that fight didn't deliver the explosion that people thought it would deliver. And it's kind of feeding into the narrative that black fighters fighting each other ain't exciting. But I thought it was exciting because I enjoyed the wrestling and the grappling. I enjoyed the tactical part of that fight. And that's why I stayed up when I was dead tired and watched it. If it's a boring fight, no matter boxing, MMA, female boxing, female, I'm probably gonna fall asleep at 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm probably just gonna do something else. So, to me, I enjoy the tactical parts. I'm enjoying more and more mixed martial arts, and I'm enjoying the tactical parts of mixed martial arts, and I'm learning so much so fast. So I always enjoyed the tactical stuff of combat sports once I start to understand it. But I think down the line they will fight again. I'm not sure it'll be next, but yeah, Ciryl Gane. I think he can become champion. One mistake, lost him a split decision. So, in my opinion, one mistake cost him the fight on my scorecard. But hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Check the MMA playlist out. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request, and advertisement channel on my social media subscription, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Want to financially support the channel? Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. Best with a donate, comment, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe button, the bell icon button, hit all notifications, increase your chance of notifications. Appreciate the love, support. One time for the one time. Check the MMA playlist.